over the years, as I said, we have been plagued with a drought, and this is not new to us here in Antigua Barbuda. But it seems as if the opposition, they've taken this and making it one big issue about the water situation. So I wanted to just quell this situation for us by telling us exactly where we with the water program in terms of the reverse osmosis plants and by the way, I wanted to talk a little bit about the tanks as well, because there are people who are politicizing the whole thing about the distribution of the water tanks. There are a number of people who are saying, they noticed that they're being given to only members of the Antigua Barbuda Labour Party, when that is not the truth and that is not the intention. So I want you to talk to us about that.
Well, let me go back to the beginning, because this issue, much like the referendum, much like COVID, has been wantonly politicized by our opponents. The fact of the matter is, and there is a clip about 2 weeks ago, where the head of the meteorological services, or the deputy head of the meteorological services, had bylined an article indicating that this is the worst drought period we have had in 90 years. That is a meteorological fact. 90, not 90 years, 80 years. That's a meteorological fact. It cannot be refuted. The records are there to show that over the past 80 years, this has been this drought. The most entrenched drought period for that period. And what does that mean? It means that the surface water sources, the Potrex Dam is as dry as chips, and the groundwater sources, where we would be able to get water from the aquifers in terms of drilling wells, those two have been dried. Even if we were to have rains like we had in November of 2020, all of a sudden, the science shows that it's going to take approximately 3 years, Colin, for the aquifers to be replenished, such that APUA can get water again from ground sources to be able to put in the pipes. No, we have multiple problems dealing with the distribution of water. We have an decades-old water distribution system that are filled with cast iron pipes and some PVC pipes that are prone to being cracked and subject to all sorts of cracks and disruptions whenever the earth gets dry and there's movement of the soil. We also have a situation where, in order for us to be able to get to reverse osmosis produce water, these plants are not sitting there like you would normally go and get your dry cell batteries in a hurricane from a store. They have to be manufactured to specification. And we are operating a queue system. It didn't really help that for the last 2 years, there has been an interruption through the supply of goods and services globally, both in terms of ships as well as in terms of manufacturing across the world. Yeah. We happen to have gotten our supplier out of Dubai, company by the name of Waterworks. And Dubai is noted, I was just there 2 weeks ago. Dubai is noted, it's in the Gulf, and they provide all of their water supply from reverse osmosis sources. Yeah. So since 2016, when we would have built and added 2 million gallons of water per day at Barnacle Point, the government made a commitment to say that, listen, we need to be resilient, and so we are no longer going to be subject to this type of issue, to be dependent on rainfall and rain-driven water production. And so we set about doing that. But again, COVID intervened, and a 2-year span. So we're now at a position where we have demonstrated already. I think APUA runs, along with ABS, a Waterworks program every Friday. We have already demonstrated that the expansion of the reverse osmosis facility in the Fries Bay area has resulted in the people as far south as Old Road getting an improved supply of water. APUA has indicated that they're going to be putting in a new reverse osmosis plant in the Fort James area. Anyone who visits that area will see that the construction has begun. So it's not a bluff. Work is being done. And we have actually gone beyond the 500,000 gallons, and I've indicated to them that we want to go upwards to approximately 700,000 gallons. That is going to affect all of St. John's and the rural areas, including York, Cedar Grove, Fort Road area. And when that is complete, perhaps maybe by the end of June, July, because again, they have been suffering from deliverable timelines that are being moved outside of their control. The shippers have had an effect on the timelines. But we receive weekly updates from Cabinet, and this is where we had actually called and asked for Messrs. Martin and Lewis to come to Cabinet to explain to us. So we are on schedule to be in a position by the end of November to produce upwards of 10 million gallons of reverse osmosis water, which would be, from all forecasts, sufficient to supply every household in Antigua with potable water. And not just that, Colin, but we have also had the concurrent commitment to improve and repair the distribution system, because the APU has indicated that they're now putting in the HDPE pipes, which are more resilient to earth movement and are less prone to cracks. And so we would expect that there are some areas with the that are in higher elevations. We have spoken to them about the inline pumps, the booster pumping stations, and so we would expect them to come back to Cabinet with budgets for that as well. I will say this, though, Colin, in closing, that there are no other three areas of government, Colin, has received as much funding as health, education, and the water services. Over the past year, the government would have spent and allocated more than $130 million to treat with this particular water issue.
Yes.
And so the public can be assured that it is a work in progress, and at the end of the day, when we get to the end of the road, I guess the political sting will be removed from it, and I guess the opposition will have something else to crow about.